Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm working on a fantastic little recipe for salted cod, Greek style, in a tomato sauce baked in the oven with zucchini, eggplant, and potatoes, and onions, of course. So here's the thing about salted cod. It's salted. And because it's salted, I recommend you soak it in water for at least 1 day, maybe even 2. Replacing the water every maybe 2-3 times a day is perfect. That's the first thing. So that way you want to get your salty, that sharpness out of it, and you want the beautiful cod flavor to come out. Second of all, in this recipe, it's typically served, although it's served throughout the year, it's particularly cool at the start of Lent for Greeks, or around the holidays like Christmas or different high holidays throughout the year. I just make it because it's one of the few fish recipes that I actually really love and enjoy making. So, first things first for this recipe, preheat our oven 400 degrees or 200 degrees Celsius. Get that off and going. So to start our recipe, what I've been doing here is slicing up my onions, which I'm going to start sauteing in a little bit of olive oil. So, some olive oil will go into our pan, maybe 3 or 4 good tablespoons. Could be a little more or less. I've seen even people go as high as like a 1/4 cup to 1/3 of a cup for this. Again, not a problem at all. It is what's also known as aladero, which is an oil-based dish. Look at that. Here it comes, rising up the temperature. So I'm going to take my onions first. Oh, and there goes my oven. Our onions are going to go in there, get them caramelizing and browning down. Here's the thing. With this, we don't want to caramelize our onions, so to speak. We just want them to kind of become translucent and cook down. The next thing is zucchini. For this, I am using 3 small zucchinis. I'm just basically going to cut them up and into decent chunks, nothing too big or too small. You want this to be able to kind of bake down, but at the same time, you don't want it to disintegrate on you, especially something like zucchini. It really does kind of go down pretty fast. So I'm just going to pop this into my pan as well, get these sauteing. Next thing is our eggplant. And for this, I'm just using a pretty decent sized eggplant. You can use whatever kind of eggplant you prefer. You can use these kind, you can use the long kind of Asian ones. It really doesn't matter. And again, you want like a decent sized chunk to this, and you just want to just slice it down and just make even kind of pieces. So now that our eggplant is in as well, it's looking a little full, our pan, but the point is it'll all cook down, and once the moisture kind of evaporates, it'll reduce in size. Now, that's in. We're going to take a couple of teaspoons of minced garlic, and that'll go in there as well. And just kind of let that go do its thing now for just a few minutes. Next, a little bit of salt. For this recipe, because it's salted cod, I am not going to put any salt whatsoever later on my fish. I'm only going to salt fairly generously my veggies. And for that, you're going to need a little flavor. And in this case, we need a little salt. And a little fresh cracked black pepper is going to go in. Now at this point, you may want to add a little spice or a little heat to this. I sadly am not today because my guests are a bunch of wusses and they can't handle heat, and I don't want them, sitting around my table crying like a bunch of little girls. So for me, I'm just going to make this a very, very mild version, but feel free at this point to add your own heat or spice. Now I'm going to take 1 bay leaf, just pop that in there and kind of bury it in there and let it do its thing as our veggies are kind of slowly sauteing down. And for this, again, a very light saute. Not much at all. All right, so now that our veggies are on their way to sauteing down, next part of this, a little bit of the booze. I'm going to put in about half a cup of Greek red wine or so. It's going to add a really nice depth of flavor to our sauce. And because it's tomato based, it's going to be fantastic. This, by the way, there is no label on it. Why would there be? It's my dad's homemade wine. And you cannot beat like that Greek homemade, like that red or rosé wine. Really, really nice. All right, so there goes that. Let the alcohol burn off on that, so we're going to be left with a really nice flavor. Along with that, I'm going to take the juice of half a lemon, and I'm just going to squeeze it right in there. See where I'm going with this? So that's really awesome. Just that, perfect, just like that. I'm going to take a small bunch of parsley and chop it fairly fine. Nothing, you don't want whole leaves, but you don't want it minuscule either. So that's totally cool here. And just chop it like that is perfect. And that will go in there as well. Spread that around. So we got the lemon, the parsley, the wine. This dish is actually really rich in flavor, and it's awesome. The next thing to go in is about 700 mLs of crushed tomatoes. And just pour that in or over our veggies here. Next part of this, my potatoes. For this, I'm using a couple of pounds or so of white russet potatoes, but you can use whatever you like. Totally up to you. And what you're going to do is very simply just slice them maybe a 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch in bits or slices. Just pop them into your pan. The next part of this, or the star of our show, is our cod. And now, for our cod, let me just move that here. I have some beautiful cod here, fillet, that I've had soaking in water now for almost 2 days. And here you have some really nice pieces, and they're odd size. So what you're going to do is you're literally going to take them, and if you see a piece that's a little too big or a little kind of lopsided or funny, just cut it up. There's a beautiful, nice little piece there. And just, again, same deal. You want to put a layer of your fish over your potatoes. Not rocket science. Same deal. Odd shapes. Cut them up. And this is a great meal for like a crowd. I've got 6 people coming over this evening for dinner. And I guarantee, oh my gosh, look at that. You could even, I've got another recipe for you in another video that I'm going to actually batter this and fry this up. Served with a little scordaglia. Nothing like it, my friends. So keep putting your pieces over your potatoes and put like an even layer of cod. That's perfect. Just like that. Get this out of the way. Now, finish up with that. Now, what do you think I'm going to do with this? Get it all in there. And just carefully. Look at that. Put it over your cod. Make sure it goes everywhere, because this is all delicious goodness. Believe me, I can't wait. This is like an amazing, amazing dish. A little on the dry side for me, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of water from my crushed tomatoes and just give this a quick shake. And all you're going to do is just put it in. You don't need much for this, not much at all. Like maybe a cup in total. So now this is ready to be fired. It's going to go into our 400-degree oven for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Right out of the oven, baby. Piping hot, absolutely delicious. I can't tell you. Oh my God. What are we going to do next? There's a little bit of olive oil. Just nothing like a little fresh olive oil. Just over the top, just to give it that extra bit of flavor. It's been an hour and a half, so everything is pretty much done perfectly. And you don't want a chintzy on this part. And you're not cooking this olive oil, you're getting the full olive oil flavor or the benefit. And as usual, I'm going to be trying this. I'm going to eat this. So for you guys, take a piece of the cod here. Piece of this cod here. Just like I remember it. Just like I remember it. Oh my God. My potatoes are done. This is like so hot. This is like holy shit hot. Actually, yeah, I'm not going to try and eat this. Look at this. It's absolutely crazy. My friends, I can't tell you. Please, you have to try this. This is like absolutely delicious. Everything is done. All the flavors have incorporated. Took about an hour and 20 minutes, give or take. It is absolutely fantastic. Salted cod. I chose the boneless salted cod. You can choose the bone-in if you're adventurous, but you know what? I'll sacrifice a little bit of flavor or taste for the salted cod to be actual just more meat than bone. So that's it for another wild and crazy episode. Thank you very much for watching. Please smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, I'm Ken. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.